Yo, what's up guys, welcome back to another video. This is a reaction to Why Europe Doesn't Build Skyscrapers by the B1M. I like this channel a lot. I'm going to be honest, I thought I reacted to this video. It's popped up many times and I thought I had reacted to it. And I was searching through my channel and it wasn't there. So if I have, on the off chance I have seen this before and I've just forgot, I apologise. Because I've done a few skyscraper related videos, which is maybe why I think I have. But yeah, if I have seen it again, I don't think I have. I've definitely not reacted to it and I can't remember watching it. If I have reacted to it and you've seen the reaction, I apologise for that. But we're going to do the reaction anyway. I'm going to do 2 more today, so there's a lot of mixed reactions. So if I have seen this one or whatever, then you can see other ones today that maybe I haven't seen. But yeah, I'm 99% sure I actually haven't seen this, which is a surprise because I thought I would have by now. But I'm just saying the same stuff at this point. Hopefully you're going to enjoy. Links are in the description to my Patreon for those who want to see extra reactions. Same for my Instagram, my Twitter for those who want to follow me. And yeah, let's just check this out. I do like this channel a lot, so I'm intrigued by this.
Why aren't there many skyscrapers in Europe? Despite being one of the most...
In the city I live in, there's not a skyscraper. And I live in a city with, what, nearly 200,000 people? Which isn't a huge city, but it's not tiny. And the tallest building is a cathedral. I don't know if it still is, but it was a cathedral. The cathedral here. And then we've got like a pretty big... It's not a skyscraper, but it's a tower block where like people live. It's like a new build in the city, and it's like a residential skyscraper, but it's not a skyscraper. It's just a big building.
Developed, densely populated, and economically.
Wait, is there a height to a skyscraper actually? Because if there isn't, then maybe it is considered a skyscraper. I don't know.
Prosperous continents. Europe has surprisingly few skyscrapers.
Where is this?
Particularly when compared to Asia
Rome
and North America.
It's beautiful.
Of the 218 skyscrapers constructed on the continent to date, 66% of them are located in just 5 cities: London, Paris, Frankfurt, Moscow, and Istanbul. So why have other major European cities not embraced the skyscraper? How do they thrive without the significant inner urban space and floor areas that these clever structures provide? And is everything about to change in our increasingly urbanized world? When skyscrapers first rose to prominence in the 19th century...
Before we get into this, it's space, because I guess you've got to take away buildings to then build them. Obviously, American buildings or American cities are a lot sort of newer. So like they were built... The skyscrapers were built as sort of the first buildings in that place. You've got to knock down buildings in the European cities to then put them back up. Maybe, I don't know, maybe the sort of the history behind certain buildings and stuff.
First in Chicago and later in New York, many European cities were already firmly established, with grand historic buildings and public spaces that left little room for large new structures. Most of Europe's cities around that time were also more evenly zoned, and were not facing the high demand for floor space in key districts that typically drives high-rise development. Additionally, as the power and influence of North America began to grow, a cultural rivalry emerged between Americans who saw Europe's class system as outdated, and Europeans who saw some American ideals as eroding traditions and the European way of life. As a result, each continent became wary of adopting the other's concepts. While North America aims to become the model for a new age, Europe sought to preserve its heritage.
Okay,
while this explains why skyscraper construction didn't initially catch on in Europe, it doesn't explain what has held the continent back since.
Post-war rebuild. Actually,
in the wake of the Second World War, many thought European cities would modernise.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm thinking. Surely, if there was like, obviously, well, there was war and like there was like cities that were destroyed, like London, they would have then rebuilt some of the buildings that were destroyed into sort of more modern day. They could have used it as a reason to like sort of modernise the cities, which obviously London's quite a modern city in terms of European cities, especially. But yeah, I mean, maybe that's because of stuff like that happened, like the World War, because London was hit hard. And was Frankfurt hit hard? Obviously, you've got some German cities that are like some of the most, or have the most skyscrapers and have like more of the modern sort of build. So maybe was Frankfurt hit hard by the war as well? I don't really know. Maybe that's
and replicate the skyscrapers that were rising across North America. However, in Western Europe, where many cities lost landmark and historic structures, an overwhelming desire to restore what had been destroyed took hold.
Oh, okay.
In addition, the lower population of Europe at that time meant that the
Cologne, the
demand for
bridge.
floor area that principally drives skyscraper construction wasn't there. As a result, modest structures replaced
That's a
buildings that could not be
beautiful
saved or restored.
Cathedral, though. Beautiful.
Meanwhile, in Eastern Europe, the expanding Soviet Union's rebuild efforts consisted largely of mid-rise repetitive structures
Still
that
like
sought
that
to
today.
rehouse much of the population.
Jeez.
It was during this time that Europe saw its first skyscrapers begin to rise, not in response to growth and prosperity, but in an effort by the Soviets to indicate
cool
their
building
power
as well.
and influence.
Brusselsization.
While Brussels has never constructed a true skyscraper, it is partly responsible for the lack of skyscrapers across the continent. Without any significant zoning regulations in place, the 1960s saw many buildings in the city demolished to make way for large, modern structures that had little regard for architectural or cultural value.
Wouldn't have expected that, not from Brussels.
Recognising the damage this indiscriminate redevelopment was doing to the city, many prominent figures and architects coined the term Brusselsization and lobbied to introduce new planning laws. These regulations significantly limited the scale of new buildings and required historic facades to be restored and incorporated into new developments, preserving the cultural fabric of the city. The row in Brussels led to a general dislike for modern buildings across Europe, with many seeing them as bland or soulless.
Where is this? Is
In
this Brussels as
response,
well? Brussels,
numerous
not
cities
Brussels.
adopted similar
I just called it Brussels. Brussels. Is this in Brussels as well? This looks like quite a cool little area.
or soulless. In response, numerous cities
London.
adopted similar regulations and set aside controlled districts, like Paris's La Défense, to keep high-rise development away from historic centres.
Or you've got, where is it in London? Canary Wharf in London. There's a lot of big sort of business buildings there. Yeah, I kind of see what he means actually, yeah. Certain spots where there's loads of them.
By the start of the 21st century, attitudes around tall buildings were softening across the continent.
I
as
think they're
architectural
beautiful though.
trends moved away from box-like structures
That's a bit
towards more
questionable,
unique
though.
designs,
The flipping
and as
heck?
the world became increasingly
What?
globalized.
This looks nuts. This reminds me of a building. There's a somewhere in the Netherlands. Netherlands. Bro, it's nuts. The Netherlands apartment that I saw. I don't know. The Netherlands. Crazy. I saw it on Twitter recently and it's nuts. No, is it this one? No, it's way bigger than this. It's way bigger than this. Man, I want to find it. Oh, mate. Is it this one? I think it's this one. And there's like loads of these ones. Bro, they're so... It's something like this. I think it's this. This is nuts, ain't it? Would this be considered a... Okay, it's not even loading. My Wi-Fi is so bad it's not even loading. But it's like this if you can even hardly see it. I mean, I'm blocking the top. But that would be considered a skyscraper, right? But yeah, this is way bigger.
Since the early 2000s, major financial centres like London, Paris, Moscow, Istanbul and Frankfurt have seen several skyscrapers rise, as demand for commercial space in their
Frankfurt's
centres
beautiful,
has
man.
increased.
Ain't it? I kind of like it that they've got like a cathedral. This is a cathedral, I'm pretty sure it is. I'm not good at my terminology for the older buildings. Next to like these skyscrapers, I think it's just cool how you've got the history mixed with sort of the modern age. I don't know, for me it looks quite sick.
By contrast, smaller European cities that have been experiencing more modest growth have turned their focus to the environment and improving living standards for
I feel like I've
citizens.
seen this one before. It's cool though.
In recent years, urban areas in Scandinavia and Central Europe have consistently ranked among the highest in the world for sustainability, happiness and well-being, while maintaining importance within their national economies. However, skyscraper construction in the cities of today
Lisbon
is
looks
no longer
clean,
driven
man.
purely by economic growth or the need for commercial office space. With 60% of the global human population set to be living in urban areas by 2030, residential skyscrapers are now rising in prominence, particularly across Asia and North America.
Yeah.
As
Makes
many
sense.
traditional rural-based industries become automated, millions are migrating into cities and major urban areas, driving significant demand for residential space that is often met with high-rise structures. Europe is not immune to this phenomenon, particularly in such a heavily globalized world, and with the continent's desire to keep up with the progress and economic growth of China and the US. As such, Europe could witness a skyscraper boom in the decades ahead.
I won't complain, man. I think they're beautiful, and I think skyscrapers in my city, it sounds crazy to me because there's none. Again, the tallest building is like not a very big building. It's like, well, obviously the cathedral, but the tallest sort of skyscraper type building is one that I think that was just built a few years ago, and it's not that tall, and it's just like an apartment. Like, I just think like skyscrapers are cool, man. I don't see the problem with them. I don't know if there's like a big sort of thing against them. I don't know if that's even a thing. Like, or maybe people just like keeping the heritage and history, which I also understand. Which maybe is why like cities like London and stuff like have the business sort of areas where they've got the bigger buildings away from the more historical things. But I like the mixture as well. I think it's quite cool how Frankfurt has it sort of all together. For me, it's quite a cool thing, but I can understand both sides.
However, with entire urban centres now being declared historically significant, and with the desire to retain as much culture and architecture as possible, rightly
Munich's
holding
low.
strong up to the
I
present
didn't realise
day,
Munich would be this low.
the unique challenge facing future
I've
skyscraper
been
construction
past this
in Europe
before.
is all to do with the past.
Is it Gaudi? Not Gaudi. Okay, I've got to search this. Gaudi Church. Is it this one or is it something else? It is. Yeah, I remember when I went here with my school. The only time I've ever been abroad, I went on the bus with the school. It is this one, right? God, it looks crazy. Was it this one I saw? I think it is. God, it is. It is beautiful. This view as well is nuts. I didn't go to it though. That's the thing. I think we just drove past it. Man, I've got to go there again because this thing looks nuts.
The past. If you enjoyed this video and would like to
Sure did, man. This channel was elite. I do love this channel a lot. But yeah, the B1M. I'm definitely down to do more reactions. I've not reacted to this channel for a long time, and I love the sort of content that they do. I just don't know if it's really reactable content or like videos. So I mean, yeah. I mean, if people would want it, what's the sort of most viewed stuff? Any of these sort of things, I'd be willing to check out. I don't know why I said. I think I clicked this one before. I've not actually watched this before. I think I wanted to do a reaction to this and I just didn't in the end because it was such a long video. But maybe I should. I've definitely not watched this video, so I don't think I've seen this one either. Maybe I have. I can't really remember. I love this. God, this channel's elite, man. I love stadium videos too. But yeah, let me know in the comments. I'm definitely down to do more of these reactions to this channel because I just think it's fun. But yeah, until next time, like, subscribe, and peace.